Hello everybody and welcome back to Mr. Miller's Art Room. Today we're going to be talking about symmetry and light catchers. Symmetry is when a shape looks the same on two or more sides. As you can see here, I have what some people might describe as a diamond. Now, this diamond shape is the same on this side as it is on this side. There are lots of things in the world that have symmetry. Shapes can have symmetry. People have symmetry. As you can see, we have two eyes on each side and two nostrils, and two sides of our mouth look quite the same. Symmetry is an important thing to understand so that we can use symmetry to make really creative artwork. But before we can actually explore symmetry, we have to understand how to create it. For our sun catchers, we're going to be utilizing a black piece of paper, but before then, we need to practice with this less expensive white piece of paper. And the first thing we're going to need to do is fold our paper. When we fold our paper, we need to fold it directly in half. This is going to take some control. We need to go from corner to corner, edge to edge. I'll show you. First, what I'm going to do is reach all the way to the top and pull the paper to the bottom. Now, this is not quite the bottom, as you can see. What I'm going to do is, once I fold it over, I'm going to slowly adjust it and move it so that the corners and the edges all match. Corner to corner, edge to edge.
Corner to corner, edge to edge.
That's correct, Mr. Monocle. After that, we need to hold this paper down. So, I'm going to take this hand and hold it right here. Then, I'm going to take this hand and make a pointer finger. I'm going to slide my finger up, and then I'm going to press it to the sides. And now you can see that I've made a sort of card. Now, this folded paper is super important for the next step. The only way that we're going to be able to make this symmetrical shape is by cutting on the creased edge.
Crease, Mr. Miller. What, pray tell, is a crease?
A crease is when you make a fold in a piece of paper permanent by pressing down on the fold, and therefore you have a crease. This crease will stay there no matter what. Even if I unfold it, even if I took a hot iron and smoothed it all down, you'd still always see this crease mark. But we don't want to do that. We want to keep this crease. The next thing you're going to need is something to draw your shape. I'm using this dark blue crayon. It does not matter what color you use, just as long as you can see the line that you create. The next thing I'm going to do is find the creased edge. The shape has to start and stop on the crease. And what's more, we need to make sure that our lines don't touch either side of the flappy bits. So, let's start. Let's do a triangle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right here. Don't start it anywhere near the corner, or your paper will become too weak for the next part. A triangle is made with some diagonal lines. I'm going to make one diagonal line, and I'm going to stop well before I get to the edge. Then I'm going to make another diagonal line. It kind of looks like the roof of a house. You can double check your work by opening your paper. And if your line starts and stops on the crease, then you're okay. A common mistake that a lot of artists make is if they put the shape on the wrong side, like this. If you've done this, then you're not going to be able to make your sun catcher appropriately. You'll be able to cut out the shape, and yes, it'll be symmetrical, but we need to create a sort of window out of the middle of the paper. So this is good, and this is bad.
But don't worry, everyone. If you do make a mistake, just quietly raise your hand, and Mr. Miller will come over and help you out.
The next step is that we're going to need to cut out this shape, but we need to cut through both layers of the paper. So I'll take my scissors, 1, 2, 3 maybe, if your fingers are small enough, goes into the big hole, thumb goes into the small hole. Open your scissors up nice and wide and put your paper into the back of the jaws of the scissors. That's where you're going to have the most strength and control. Then you're going to slowly snip until you get to the top of the shape. Turn your paper so the line is facing away from you. Open the scissors up wide. Snip, 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 snip. You will know if you've done this correctly if you open up the paper and you have a window with space all around.
Mr. Miller, what are the common mistakes and what do they look like?
Common mistakes number 1, if you draw the shape on the outside instead of on the crease, it will look something like this. Common mistake number 2 is if you allow your shape to touch all the way to the flappy side. Your light catcher will just fall apart. Common mistake number 3, you draw your shape way too big and too close to these edges. Your shape becomes incredibly too large and it becomes very weak at the corners. After we've done a successful practice with our practice paper, we're going to move on to the black construction paper. We're going to reach from the top, pull the paper down, then we're going to go corner to corner, edge to edge, make sure it's nice and even, and when you're happy with it, you're going to pin your paper down, take your finger pointer, make sure the paper doesn't move, and press all the way up to the middle so it makes a crease. Then take your other finger, crease it some more, and crease it all the way to the side. Go back and forth on top of it a couple of times to make sure it's nice and firm. Make sure you confirm with yourself which side is the crease side. And if you find the crease side, you want it facing your belly. This time I'm going to use a white pastel because it's going to show the line really well. And I'm going to use the same triangle. I want to make sure that I start the triangle on the crease side, draw my diagonal line, don't go all the way to the top, and don't let it get too close to the corner. Come back down to make my diamond shape. Then I'm going to use my scissors to start cutting this shape out by going along the lines. Don't cut too far. Once you get your tip of your scissors to the tip of the shape, finish your snip, and then you're done with that side, and then go to the next side. Now that I've cut it out, I'm going to pull this shape out. This is neat, and we could possibly use this for another project at another time, but I'm going to set it aside because that's not what I need. I need my window frame. I'm going to flip it around to where I've made the marks on this side, and this is where glue and our transparent colored tissue paper comes into play. I'm going to have a variety of different colors for you to choose from. This paper is very light, so we have to be very careful with how we use it. It's also somewhat transparent.
What does transparent mean, Mr. Miller?
Transparent means that it's slightly see-through, so that you can see a little bit of my hand behind it. And this makes it really good for making a sun catcher. Everyone's going to get a small cup for glue and a paintbrush so we can brush the glue on. I find it's better this way so that we don't waste any glue. Take your paintbrush, dip it in the glue as if it was paint, but not too much, and you're just going to paint around the edge of your shape. Don't add too much or it's going to become very messy and unwieldy. Go all the way around your entire shape. Now, once that's done, you're going to set your paintbrush down, you're going to pick up your tissue paper very carefully and gently set it on your shape so that it covers the whole space. Smooth it out gently, and then once you've done that, you have your sun catcher. You'll be able to have your teacher or your folks tape this up on your window, and they'll be able to see the light shine right through. Thank you so much for practicing your symmetrical shapes by creating a sun catcher with me. I'd love to see the results of your artwork. Thank you so much, and have a good day.
We said good day.